Hello everyone and welcome back to the Glebe Railway Company. In this video I'm going to be showing the process of installing this new battery meter into my 7¼ inch electric locomotive known as Dragonfly. If you watched my last video, or if you haven't already, I would advise going and looking at it, but if you have, you'll know that this is one of the things that I really wanted to get done. The only way I can get a battery reading currently is off of this voltmeter, which is quite old-fashioned, and this new battery meter works really well, which I'll obviously show you at the end of the video once I've gone through the whole process. Just before we get started, one of the other things that I really wanted to get done is extending the control cable, which I have done, and that's basically by buying an 8-core cable and basically rewiring all of the inside, and then obviously wiring the plug in, which was a massive faff, so I haven't got a video of that, but just so you know, that is another job that I got done. So without further ado, let's have a look at all of the parts that I've ordered, and then we can go from there. So we have a 4QD order here, which is super exciting. I bought a few bits for this project. You can see I've got the thicker electric cables. So this is for power from the battery to the horn relay board. I've also got twin snail horns that you can't see very well. Twin snail horns, so a high and a low, and some zip ties obviously for some cable management. So first thing is what we're going to be fitting first, which is a new battery meter for the hand controller. So this is actually the digital battery meter, which is a newer model, if it will focus. So as you can see, it's looking quite different to the old one. I can show you the old one right now. This is the old battery meter that I took out without the LEDs, because some of the LEDs actually worked, but some of them were blown. So this is the new battery meter, so I'm going to be installing that. The horn relay board, which is super exciting, so let's get another closer look at that. So this is the horn relay board. It's actually much more than I thought, which is super convenient in terms of mounting it. So you've got the relays along here. This is where we're going to wire in obviously the 12-volt supply, and obviously the horns and the lights. So I've got a relay per snail horn that I just showed you before, and then a relay for the lights. So this will allow me to control the lights from the lights and horn from the hand controller, which is super convenient. And that also came with a very handy accessory pack, including the IDC connector that we need and some instructions on there, and mounting and some spare diodes. So that is really, really helpful, super cool. 4QD do a great job. I've got a couple of spare IDC connectors just in case I need them. I've got a fuse holder and a couple of fuses for the 12-volt supply to protect the horn relay board. So that's the whole order, that's everything I've got. So the first thing we're going to mount is the new battery meter in the hand controller. So here we have the hand control box, and you can see I've actually just put a blank piece of one of these labels over the slot for the battery meter. So I'm just going to remove the back cover so I can get inside to wire the new battery meter in place. Okay, so this is what the inside looks like if you've never seen one before, and the battery meter originally was wired to this green and white wire in here. So what I've done is I basically just put some shrink wrap, heat shrink over the two of those to connect to cover them up while I wasn't using it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push from the inside to get that that cover off. And then, luckily, I kept these screws in place, which is super useful. Not that I need them, but because the new one actually comes with some screws. But to be honest, I might use them because those are countersunk instead. So let's get those removed as well. Obviously, throughout the process, we're going to be keeping all the screws in somewhere super easy. So you can just see on the side here, I'm keeping them in this paint tray. So now we've got those screws out, we can take the screws off of this and we'll do a little test fit. These battery meters can actually be used on their own. They don't have to be as part of the hand control board. So you can mount this on a control panel and it would demonstrate the battery level. But obviously for me, I need to, I'm going to be using it in here. Let's do a quick test fit to see how it looks. So obviously the only downside I feel of this is that red will be at the top and green at the bottom, which is a bit backwards, but what can you do? At least it should work relatively well. So after some significant cocking about, I've got it in. It turns out that the LEDs didn't actually fit in the slot as they were, and I don't have a file small enough to make the slot longer. It's basically just because I guess maybe the gaps are slightly big and it wouldn't fit. So all I did was file down the edge of this last LED, so you can see just about it's slightly shorter than the one before it. So if I just take this out of here, you can see on that edge there is a kind of right angle L-shaped file out, and it won't affect the LED at all because it obviously hasn't got to the anode or cathode inside there. So now that fits in there nicely. Again, I'm not massively happy that the red's at the top and the green's at the bottom, but what can you do? Doesn't really matter. And I'm going to desolder these wires and then wire in the ones that are already in the controller. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so the job is done. I just got to trim the excess off of there. It turns out that it was really hard to desolder the white and the green wire, so all I've done is I've resoldered the red and blue and then soldered those with some heat shrink to the original. So the white is the positive and the green is the negative, and then they're soldered as is. Just rechecking that, yeah, I've done that correctly. So let's get it inside and then we can all wired up and a battery, and then we can see if this thing actually works. Okay, so the battery's in place and all wired in. I'm going to grab the controller. Let's have a look. So as it's plugged in, there's nothing on there, which is not surprising because the ignition switch is not turned on. Hey, there we go, very nice. Okay, that is absolutely perfect. So you're probably wondering why the two green LEDs not illuminated but the red and the orange are. That's because this battery is low on battery, which is exactly what we're looking for. I took this battery in the Loco out last weekend, and it was running low, obviously, by the time I'd finished. So there we go. That's job number 1 completed. The battery meter is now working. Tune in next time. I'm going to be looking to install the new horns, the horn relay board, and then we can go from there. So thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you have any questions or any advice on maybe what I should do to my Loco, any ideas that you might have, and I'll see you guys in the next video.